And hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL in the Trenches. We are winding down 2021. I almost said 2022. That's part of what's going on. This is In the Trenches for the FPL Frontline Prediction League. I am your co-host, Scott. Joining me is BeerMe Jesus. This is available on this YouTube channel right here, Frontline League on Twitter. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go into our Discord. The link is down below. You can sign up and be part of the FPL. And you can go towards day one, which is what's coming up, because this is our recap show and our preview show, and a few other things we're going to talk about, like you can see on the screen right here. But this is a lot of stuff going on, BeerMe, as we wind down the year. How are you doing here?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a little chilly here today, but other than that, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
It's cold. It's cold. It's December 20th in Canada. It's cold. This is on a Monday. A rare Monday Trenches, guys. Here we go, because we're doing it now because we can. And we've scheduled out when Top of the Card's going to be. That's on Top of the Card Pod, over where you get your podcasts and on Twitter. But, yeah, we're cold here right now. It's very cold. And it was rainy last week, and then it got snowy. Like, they forgot it was supposed to be winter and turned it back on. So that's what it's been like since. If you hear a weird noise, that's my furnace kicking in because the heater's on. It's cold. It's cold here. So, but BeerMe, we're winding down. Like I said, winding down the year. We've got a couple things. I had a thing on the screen there briefly for people to see. It is the Superstar of the Year. There are the year-end awards, the medal ceremony, as we're calling it here. That's going to come next. We're going to talk about that last, even though it technically wraps up the year. We're going to go through the matches first, kind of business as usual, and then focus on that, and you'll see why when we get there. So, day one, BeerMe, is January 1st. It's a Saturday. It's a New Year's Day. It is going to be a bit crazy, all in all, I think, of an event. Let's go through the matches briefly that we have announced. I think there's only a couple. We've known for a while that the American and Canadian Championships will be defended. We do have the Canadian Championship being defended by Smooth Rock in a rematch, Watson Rules, against Ralentando. We have the FPL American Championship being defended by Alexander McKennedy against Modstep, who earned that opportunity back around War Games. And then we have the Canadian Championship #1 contenders kind of tournament final. These guys both won a match. Chef Urban, who was a last-minute replacement, who won to get here, and Luke Gray, kind of the odds-on underdog favorite, going on that Survivor Series momentum. Excuse me. And that's it. That's what we've got. And we've got more to announce here. I've got 4 matches. You've got 3. I do have details for some of these as well we'll dive into. I will just go right off the bat, because I know the one that people probably want to know, including McKennedy and Modstep, is the stipulation for the American Championship. I'll start with that one. How about that?
All right.
Let's get that out of the way. That is going to be a TLC match.
Oh, all right.
Now, will it have a themed name? Yes. What is it? Don't know yet. And maybe it won't. But it's New Year's Day, like we can't use New Year's Evil because the NXT is. Whatever. At the very least, it's a TLC match. It's climbing to get, or, TLC matches have pinfalls and whatnot, but TLC match for the American Championship, which hopefully will prevent there from being a no contest, just by virtue of that stipulation, kind of how those ones work with ladder matches. Because even if the points are going towards a tie, if Modstep gets, 5 in a right, it's ladder, right? Check the stipulations, please, in our Discord. Go check that out. He wins. So it can hopefully avoid a tie if people get matches in the right order. So that is the American Championship. What's a match you've got, BeerMe?
All right, let me see what I want to do first.
And while he's looking at that, we're not diving into these because we still got next week. We can talk about, we can do the breakdown of the full card because we'll have it there. We're just going to announce them here. Let it stew for a little bit.
Okay. You know what? I'll do this one first. This one's a good one. I have our former world champion. I don't like the sound of that, but it's true.
But your friend and mine, Bastion.
Yes, Bastion. He will be taking on the newest one of the newest members of Honor Club, RGX.
Oh boy.
Yeah. If RGX already didn't have enough on his plate,
That sounds like RGX is going to have to get in line, right? Like,
yeah,
going to have to toe that Honor Club line. That feels like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of feel for him because, he doesn't want to win and give them a win, but at the same time, he wants to win for himself.
So
it's so tough. He's in such a bad situation.
He's going to go for it, though. He's going to go for that win. He's going to try to take the bash.
He's going to go all out.
Yeah, and he could. I fully feel he has a full shot at that. Absolutely, yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to be flat out with everybody here, whoever's facing me. I have no idea about this upcoming card. So, good luck.
Yeah. I don't have your match, otherwise I'd be saying it right now. But I do have one of my friends, the Midnight Rider. He's going to face Bane the Bissa, as we keep it in the Honor Club discussion.
All right.
1-on-1, those two. That's follow-up from Lee getting kicked through the cell wall. Or kicked into the cell wall and it fell over. So, Bane versus Lee 1-on-1. That's kind of the same situation where, like, Bane's going to try to prove a point. This, like, Rate Wrestle clearly is having RGX. Like, he's proving a point with that. So, it's a bit of a mess going on with this right now. So, yeah. What else have you got, though?
I have got... Ooh, all right. I got our number one contender for the world title, Josh Ionio.
Mm-hmm.
He will be taking on one member of the Antidote in Dion Blade.
Ooh, that makes sense. Work his way through. That makes sense, yep. And yes, I'm part of the booking team, but I forget what this stuff usually is, and it was last week. It's kind of a blur right now with day one and Rumble so close. I don't remember what's even where, plus Hard to Kill's in the middle of it. We kind of talked about all of it right now. That one's legitimately a surprise to me again. I'm like, oh yeah, that match, yeah. So, don't worry. I'm not faking my surprise. I didn't remember that one. I like that, though, because that's Dion Blade really stepping up to see what can happen here, right? So, I'm intrigued by that one. I'm definitely intrigued. Speaking of contenderships, I've got an American Championship contenders match, because that title will be defended also at the Royal Rumble, just by virtue of timing and the way things need to go. Otherwise, it wouldn't really until Mania. We have a number one contenders match. It is a lumberjack match between Ash and Broken Nerd. No, admittedly, we did have a few where we're talking maybe this person, maybe that person. Jason Blades was kind of in mind, but he did literally just lose the number one contendership match to Modstep, so we do want a bit more. Like, we want to rebound on that, and if he wins this one, and then he could be in line for something towards Mania, legitimately, if he can win a contendership back, right? Like, that's what, but not yet.
It's possible. Like, it's possible because he's only had one speed bump, so it's.
But it was a big one, so like that's what I mean. Like, it's legitimately got to be a spot where it kind of matters. Excuse me. But Ash and Nerd, both have been kind of out of it for a little bit, the title picture, in as much as the specifics, but they've definitely got the history, both going towards this kind of thing, and this is the kind of match. Who gets the shot? Well, the winner of this match does, so we'll see where that goes. And you never know, maybe Jace faces the other guy to see if he could, like, that can solidify him advancing. That's not part of the booking, but that kind of makes sense as a thing I just thought up live. Here we go. But I don't know. That's kind of where we're at. So, but we did need a contendership match for the Rumble, and so the American champion will be busy. So even if Modstep wins, he might not hold it for a month because he could drop it to Ash or Broken Nerd. Because this is a big step for Modstep out of the tag ranks and surviving with the Strays literally hunting them down. So if he gets gold, they'll be after him for that too. But what else have you got, though, BeerMe? You've got one more, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay. Here's one. Speaking of Jason Blades, your friend and ours.
Yep.
What about guys? He'll be taking on another one of our guys. He'll be taking on the king of the family, the quote-unquote promo god.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be taking on Sebastian Escobar in a death match.
Yeah, this one's been building. This one's...
Yeah.
We've seen the story on events. We've seen it in character chat. This has been coming. This is a while coming, and that's why it's a death match. So, yeah, it's going to be ugly. Let's be honest. You give Escobar free reign like that, but Jace wants it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But oh god, that's going to be a rough one, definitely. I can finish off the last of the match announcements here. I'm going to scroll up for this one because it pertains to the FPL Canadian Championship match, and it's fitting that I'm announcing this because of the request of both parties in certain ways, where Smooth Rock has said he did not want to travel, and Ralintendo said he'll go anywhere and wants to avenge his loss. This match will take place in Canada.
Oh, all right.
So, I haven't decided where yet. That is the prerogative of the champion, presumably. I've been that guy. I had it at an embassy before, defending against Broken Nerd. He put me through a glass window, like a glass wall, basically, and through a table, but I won. So, yeah, it's up to the champion, basically, but if he defers, we could figure something out and go where we would need to go as the Canadian. I have ideas for where that could be held, but yeah, that will be done. Both will be quarantining, obviously, to do so next weekend. It would be a thing like that. You know, sacrificing from their families and whatnot it's a thing for the main event. It's a thing for the gold. So that's just kind of the way it is sometimes, right? Like this is what you do. So yeah, should be very interesting to see what comes of that. Not that the rules are any different in Canada. That's where they wanted it. And Ralintendo clearly, like, if he gets to win the Canadian title in front of a Canadian audience, that's pretty great, right? So
yeah.
So
that's true.
We'll see if it'll be like an empty arena situation or some indie show in Canada. We'll find some FPL equivalent to hold it there on developmental. We'll figure something out for that. I've got history with that, as you know. So we'll figure that out. And that's it, right? You've got nothing else on your end. I've got nothing else on mine.
Nope.
So that's day one for now. Obviously, more will come next week as we finalize the card. We'll have the rest of the matches, including the world champion. You and I will have our matches. Like we'll sort all that stuff out, obviously. And Hard to Kill is coming up a week after that. So please, if you guys have ideas and storylines, again, I say for that kind of stuff, throw them in the character chat. We go from there. We build on it a lot, especially as we're building towards WrestleMania. We've pretty much got Hard to Kill. We've got Revolution. And that's probably it, honestly, like for house shows. And that's really story-heavy stuff. We'll have Supercard presumably in April, but we can't rely on that. Plus, it's a day before, so that's just going to be like some other stuff. That won't really be story building. There's no ROH prior to that, so the anniversary show's out. And that's it. So we are going to have the Rumble. We'll have... They've said there's going to be February and March, so presumably like a Super Showdown and Elimination Chamber. And then Mania. So like we can almost count the shows on one hand building the Mania. So if there's Mania builds or Mania matches people have in mind, there's title matches, obviously, and contendership is going to be coming up fast and furious for that. But for actual stuff leading to that, we're working on it. We did a pretty damn good job last year, I think. I love the fact that we've got the main event of the Rumble is a rematch from a big Mania match, so that just happened to be a thing. But we're working towards that. If people have ideas, hit us up, let us know. Leave BeerMe out. Let me know, CT Red and GMSG, with your stuff. You can tell him, he'll just tell us, and where you want to go with it. And if it's a matter of like title contention and stuff, we are working towards that. Excuse me. But if you have ideas and you're like, I want to go for this title, you never know. It might be too late to really gun for any title at Mania right now. But getting in that position and going for it is the way. Like Jason's kind of already setting the groundwork. And it's not like Mania is the be-all, end-all. I mean, it's Mania. Obviously, it kind of is. But there's going to be shows right after that. There's probably going to be, Rebellion from Impact a week or two after that, usually, or later in the month. And then Money in the Bank is in July, but there's going to be, Extreme Rules or Hell in a Cell. If it's not Mania, we'll figure something out. We'll work it out. But get these ideas going and percolating what you want to do. I've said before, I've had my idea for a while. It should be some fun stuff, depending on kind of who and what is the situation. We'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there. But speaking of getting there, that kind of stuff and that build-up is what we're dealing with here with the 2021 FPL Medal Ceremony nominations. So, what this is, we've taken this, admittedly, it is largely from a general kind of like Superstar of the Year, Promo of the Year, Match of the Year, your typical wrestling top of the year stuff. Yes, a lot of it did carry over from Jobber Radio Prediction League, where we ran that for the last year and had the ideas for that as well. We didn't do the jobbies at the end for that, Bomber did do that of his own accord. We had no real part in it. But this is open for voting for everybody, is how we're going to be doing it. The nominations are for the 2021 FPL Medal Ceremony. Voting opens this week with the release of In the Trenches. So when you see this video, this video is up, you'll be able to vote. And you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern, I presume, December 31st. To be fair, we could probably just make it be anybody's, like as long as it's December 31st, wherever your time zone is. But that if it's January 1st when you're voting, too late. It's going to be, page is gone. Like, if anything, CT's out on toward the Pacific time, so kind of think that. Just vote. Like, put your stuff in. There's already some campaigning going on. Don't wait till, like, the ball drop to vote, please. We don't want to miss your votes. But how this is going to work, and by all means, if you have questions, reach out to us. But how this is going to work is there's going to be things, like I said, Superstar of the Year, Tag Team, Stable, Main Show, House Show, Match, Upset, Feud, Kayfabe Award, Master of the Mic, Face of the Year, Heel of the Year, Turn, and Theme Song. You'll notice there's a category or two missing there from years prior. We obviously don't have Rookie of the Year because it was our first year. We don't have Comeback because it was our first year. We don't have Jobber of the Year because we don't want to be negative. And we don't have Hardest Show to Predict because we don't want to be negative, for one. That's how I always took it. But how to really go about that? Was it like you don't know Ring of Honor, so you have no idea to predict? Like BeerMe, you said day one looks real tough. Is that your hardest show to predict? Or is it the one like you didn't know what to pick and you got it wrong, so it was a hard show to predict and that's why it is? Or it was the most important one for you and that's the hardest? We just scrapped it. None of us really even liked the award, to be fair. It's fun to talk about, but it was...
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not really an award-worthy thing, right? So,
right.
But the difference with this, like you see here, there's 10 nominees for Superstar of the Year. Most categories have 5. A couple have 10. And the reason for that is to open it up a little bit. Because this is for everybody. This is for the fans. This is for the roster. This is for you guys. And the way it's going to work, though, is not going to be simply a case of like, oh, who's your pick for Superstar of the Year? BeerMe. Is it Bastion? He is Bastion. That's his vote. Cool. That's his number 1. How Superstar of the Year is going to work, as well as, I believe, Master of the Mic and Match of the Year. The tenors, it's going to be a 1, 2, 3. Who's your number 1? Bastion. Who's your number 2? Modstep. Number 3, McKennedy. Cool. Bastion gets 3 points. McKennedy gets 1. You get it? Like, your top gets all 3 points, right? Descending, that kind of thing. So when we tally it, say everybody put Ash at number 2. He might end up being Superstar of the Year because he has the most points thanks to being number 2 on everybody's list. Even though nobody picked him number 1. That makes sense, right? Like, he has the bolstered score overall. That is admittedly something I will freely say is an idea I got from seeing stuff. I believe GameSpot did it and 411 Mania did it for their wrestling voting. That's how they did that kind of stuff. And I always liked that because it kind of bolstered the point. It's not just a matter of everybody just picks one guy. It can spread it around. So your number 1 pick might be your faction guy. And you might be like, all right, creatures, we're all picking Modstep. Yeah, but who's 2 and 3? And it actually does spread it a little bit evenly to not have just like faction dump. Not we're saying people would, but we have seen it before, and it's not great. I'd like to think our guys are better than that. I get it, though. If FBU's probably voting Bastion, I understand that. But who's 2 and 3? Who's 2 and 3, right? So that's how that's going to work. And Superstar of the Year, again, Alexander McKennedy, Ash, Bastion, Chappers, CJ Hawk, Dedrick Cyrus, Modstep, Ralantando, Smooth Rock, and the Alpha Dog. The main thing that we talked about this, and it was like a 3-hour call where we were discussing possibility, who and what. We were looking at records. We were not counting house shows for a lot of that because we told you guys. It doesn't really matter in the rankings and stuff, but it didn't really count towards that record. But we kind of looked at it a little bit if it was a matter of like who, which one. Well, it's a little bit more. But we looked at championships. We looked at some story stuff and kayfabe as well. So like McKennedy, the American champ, had it all goddamn near. Bastion, the first world champ. Ash was in the Mania situation and always kind of top tier. Tag champs, Chappers, Modstep, Detrick, and Alpha Dog. Smooth Rock and Nintendo, both Canadian champs. And CJ Hawk, Mr. Money in the Bank. Obviously, there's a big omission there in the other world champ in James Costner, except he hasn't had it for a month yet. it's too late to really be bigger than the stuff we were talking about, and that's why he kind of came out of there. But obviously, he can hold this in 2022 and start the ground running. Like, he'll be on that ballot immediately, I think. So, but that is our Superstar of the Year category. I'm not going to discuss anybody about who I think because I'm not going to influence votes that way. That's not fair for me to do. BeerMe, I'm not going to ask you to do that. You can if you want. You're not part of this. You're seeing this for the first time, kind of discussing it now. If you want to discuss who you think, I don't know, you can do it if you want. But
No, I'm good. I'm not gonna influence people's picks.
Fair,
nobody will listen to me anyway. But
well, now tag team of the year. There are 5: Death Money Inc., Arbiter and Kano Mac, La Familia, Detrix Cyrus and Alpha Dog, also for Superstar of the Year. Note Matt Zion and Rab. Yep, I'll get there. Simple Creatures, Modstep and Chappers, and The Strays, Sheriff Dog and Michael Marsh. Why are Matt Zion and Rab on there? Because they legitimately have one of the best main show records there is, and we're in contendership matches. And that's better than any other team that was in there neck and neck. The other Strays are 2-0 on main shows. These guys had more. Myself and Lee, we had one show match, and myself and Red had like stuff spread around. It wasn't consistent in any way. These guys were better. So they're on there, which is crazy to me. But there you go. So, I mean, not to influence anything, but that's wild. I'll say this full out. I don't remember if these are going to be like 1, 2, and 3. We might still do that. If you go and put your picks in, you'll see that. I'm just saying. Keep that in mind. So who's your number 1? Death Money Inc. Who's number 2? Matt and Rab. Number 3, Strays. So 3, 2, 1 for the points. It'll make sense when you're in there. Like, it's your top tier pick. It'll be there. Stable of the Year. FBU, Bastion, BeerMe, and GMSG. Honor Club. Rate Wrestle, McKennedy, Smooth Rock, Bane the Bessa, and RGX. Yes, technically, they're all part of it. La Familia, Escobar, Detrick, and Alpha Dog. Simple Creatures, Modstep Chappers, JJ and LJ, and The Strays, Sheriff Dog, Michael Marsh, Mark Harper, and Supreme Rock. Big omission, Infinity. Yeah, we didn't do much of the stable. It doesn't count. Also, we lost whenever we were a stable. And the Antidote was kind of like here and there with actually stuff as it. It was kind of the one-man show by Costner, and it just kind of didn't compare with La Familia's overall and Creatures overall and Strays overall, but considering the Creatures are damn near dead, and like there's a vacancy for next year, it can easily go in there, and the Antidote will run roughshod now that they've kind of solidified at the end of the year with what's going on, so we'll see where they go from there. Now, main show of the year and house show of the year. These are the FPL shows. We got the Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Extreme Rules, and War Games. We got Double or Nothing, Slammiversary, Death Before Dishonor, All Out, and Final Battle. We took into account here the importance of the matches, the legacy of what happened during them. Obviously, the Rumble was the first Rumble. Mania had some first title shots. SummerSlam, the first world title. But beyond that, a lot more happened. Like, War Games had feud blow-offs and stuff like that. The house shows had major story points. And if you want to get refreshed on those, please go check out our results in the Discord, and you can go back and read any of these. You can actually get links to them from your roster page. So if you want to go back and see who you fought on the Rumble, you can click on that and see it, and there you go. So you can check that out too. This one will probably just be a one-off. Like, you don't pick your 1, 2, 3 for that, obviously. But Match of the Year is you pick your 1, 2, 3. So, Match of the Year, BeerMe. We got the 2021 Royal Rumble match. My personal favorite. I wrote it, and it's so much great. It's so awesome. Match of the Night versus Stone Collective at TakeOver Vengeance Day. That's the restaurant fight. Our first cinematic match that really kind of set the tone for what kind of stuff we want to do. The 2021 Let me say that. It's a little slower. The 2021 Elimination Chamber match at Elimination Chamber. Big match setting the stakes for Mania. Broken Nerve versus Lucian Hollis at WrestleMania. That was the Full Moon Massacre. James Costner versus Josh Ionio. Massive, massive match that has huge repercussions towards the end of January with the Rumble. The 6-man Hell in a Cell, the Bastion, I believe, won that one to get towards the title. I may be misremembering that one. Hell in a Cell being in the different spot throws me off. McKennedy and Rolantendo, Death Before Dishonor. That was American Champ versus Canadian Champ. Rolantendo versus Smooth Rock, the big title change. Shrunkbusters versus CT Extinction, kind of the epitome of what a Survivor Series match is. And Sheriff Dog versus JJ Rocky with the ultimate story finishing off the Strays, essentially, except they're still just hanging on. But yeah, that's that one. So again, that's going to be your 1, 2, 3 for that, and what you pick on there. Upset of the year. Payne defeats Ash at WrestleMania, winning the World Championship. Winning the World Championship shot to go to SummerSlam. La Familia defeats Simple Creatures at Crown Jewel. Matt Zine and Rab defeat La Familia at Survivor Series. The Antidote defeat Infinity and Beyond at Survivor Series. And James Costner defeats Bastion at War Games. Now, the clarification on that, because we did set these title matches up. We set up La Familia and the Creatures. We set up Costner and Bastion. It's not a sense of, oh man, he beat him. That's a surprise that Costner could do it. It's more the strength of the Creatures and the strength of Bastion. And oh man, they lost. Holy crap. That's what it is. Not a knock on Familia, not a knock on Costner. They earned those positions, and they capitalized on it. They wouldn't be there if they didn't earn it. Antidote defeating Infinity Beyond. They swept us. That's part of that. We didn't think that would happen. And then Matt and Rab defeating La Familia on a main show. Yeah. Tag champs got beat by Matt and Rab. Tag team of the year, maybe? Who knows? But that kind of got in there. And Payne versus Ash made me laugh, because I remember, BeerMe, we talked about Payne a lot leading up to this and back in the JRPL days, about how Payne was on that upward trajectory and winning the Rumble seemed to solidify it. And then he went damn near like 0-8, it felt like, going into Mania, but then won at Mania. I remember thinking, like, well, he's got a shot clearly, like, he's got that momentum. Apparently everybody else was like, Payne's losing, it's Ash's turn. No, but it was an upset for everybody but me. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. But those are your upset contenders. So that's an interesting one there. Feud of the year. James Costner versus FBU and Infinity. Jonathan C.T. Martin versus Luke Gray. Rolantendo versus Smooth Rock. Rate Wrestle versus RGX. And Simple Creatures versus Death Money Inc. Creatures and Death Money has been some violence back and forth with the tag ranks before the Strays came in and just obliterated both sides. Rate Wrestle and RGX started basically on the main show, like the first show, and then the second one was the window that in the restaurant. And it's still going today because he's forced to be part of Rate Wrestle's faction. Rolantendo with Smooth Rock, massive storyline back and forth, and we got a rematch coming between these two and stealing the belt and back and forth like that. CT and Luke has been ups and downs and tags and betrayals, and it culminated with the Epic Survivor Series, so a big one there. And Costner versus FBU and Infinity. This one was weird, admittedly, but it was Costner versus me, then it was Costner versus me and FBU, and then Infinity got involved, and then Costner kept going beyond that into facing Bastion, winning the title. That's why it's not Antidote versus FBU and Infinity. It's Costner, because it was basically his stuff. And the faction itself was kind of like there for parts of it and not really there for a lot of it, because a lot of people joined in late or dropped out, and there was no shows. So Costner, like I said, he did the legwork on that. He's got that. That's his. I know he's put in character chat about, to right the wrong and vote for them. If you want to see it that way, absolutely, and you want to vote that way, go for it. But we're considering it for Costner versus FBU and Infinity. We could have simply had it Costner versus Scott was one possibility, then Costner versus FBU was another, and then we had to drop one, and they might actually have negated themselves, and a different one could have been in there potentially. But it was one real feud when we all united against him. So that's that one. BeerMe, this one's fun. Kayfabe Award. This one is kind of like the shocking moment and things like that, like Bane the Bissa, CM Carlito, and Matt Zion with their surprise returns and debuts at the Royal Rumble. That was so awesome to have 3 surprises, because what can we do? Will we be able to pull that off for the Rumble now? We'll have to see. Hiroshi Moses returns at All Out. That was massive. That was a fun thing, like one of those guys who hadn't come back yet, and here he is. Follow the thought here. Honor Club expands at War Games, because they added both Bane and RGX, right? That's one. Honor Club forming at SummerSlam is a different entry. They're 2 different situations, but these are 2 different stuff, because the way that came together with the champions, and then like the Canadian, he won that as well. It's yeah. The other kayfabe though, we got Jason Blades' Make America Violent Again campaign. Luke Gray overcoming CT and Tino at Survivor Series. Red was fired from SummerSlam from the GM position by CT. There we are. It's us, Scott and BeerMe, quote unquote, host Frontline in the Trenches for an entire year. Scott and GMSG United Takeover, and the Strays Inter Chapter and LJ at Survivor Series. So the one for us, BeerMe, CT was really wanting that one in there. I'm like, what? Why? Like, this is what we do. We just make the show. And he's like, exactly. That's impressive. Well, okay. So that's for this show. Like, that's not the characters. That's us doing this for the FPL. So me and
Right.
you, legitimately up for an award.
Oh, dope.
It's kind of neat. But it's not the characters. It's literally just us having done this whole time. Because we did. Except for a couple ones where CT did one and filled in.
Yeah.
He did two. He did one because my microphone died. That was fun. And he did one because it was in between like a midnight thing after SummerSlam to TakeOver. So he did that as well. It's fun when he does those because he can just come in and just go nuts with it. So yeah. He's not a part of that though. It's us that are up for the award. So now that's going to be probably a 1, 2, 3 for that. So you're like your gold, silver, bronze is the way I'm going to try to say it now. Gold gets 3 points, silver 2, bronze 1. Think of it that way. Same for Master of the Mic. This one, Alexander McKennedy, CJ Hawk, James Costner, Jonathan C.T. Martin, Kier 1, Ralentando, RGX, me, Scott, Sebastian Escobar, and Shurfdog. This is for the character chat. This is for the promos. This is for the video promos, the text promos, all that stuff in there. And the best thing about this, having 10 people, is there's varying formats. Some of the guys only do video promos. Some only do text. A couple do both. And it's because it's quicker to just type up a few lines instead of setting up a camera. I get that. I did that myself a couple days ago. But it's something that I will say flatly, I've won a lot back in the JRPL because no one else was doing stuff. And then Lee kind of went nuts with it and kind of usurped me. I thought beginning of the year RGX had this on lock and then everybody else showed up. But RGX is still probably, I'm not going to lie, he's probably still better than me at the very least. So I don't expect to win this. I'll say that flat out. And the best part is, that's awesome. I love the fact that it's not going to be me running away with this award like I have in the past, because we have such a dedicated, creative, and just fast team of people that jump into character chat and do stuff at like sometimes 2 in the morning because results are out. That is awesome. This is for you guys, so there you go. So that's all I have to say about that. And if I happen to win, awesome. But I'm being realistic about this one. This one, BeerMe. So yeah, BeerMe, you've never done a promo in your life, so you're not on here. So
It's true.
no, you're the best non-promo, probably. Now we have Face of the Year. Excuse me. Ash, Bastion, BeerMe Jesus, you're up. Cam, CJ Hawk, Kurt Cult, Luke Gray, Ralentando, RGX, and the GMSG. It hurts to not be on here. Because normally when I'm a face, I'm the super face. But I turned too late in the year, I didn't quite cut it, and I didn't really win stuff. So yeah, Ash, Bastion, BeerMe. Actually, yeah, FBU's all in there. Mr. Money in the Bank, Cam, Kurt Cult, the Ultimate Underdog, Luke Gray, the other underdog, Ralentando, Face of a Nation, RGX. Like I said, the guy who kind of ran with promos early. Ash. Yeah, that's your Face of the Year category. Heel of the Year, Alexander McKennedy, James Costner, Jason Blades, Jonathan C.T. Martin, Mystery Mask, as we know as Hiroshi Moses, but Mr. Mask is the time frame for it. Rate Wrestle, Redhead 12, Sebastian Escobar, Shurfdog, and Smooth Rock. Once again, I'm not on there. I didn't really do much as a heel either, because I lost them at Zion and GMSG. I wasn't that great. But Red was there because Red was such a heel as the GM, right? McKennedy, just domineering champion. Costner, man, you see what he's doing with this stuff. He's obviously massive heel all year. Jace with his hardcore stuff. CT, I mean, come on, he's one of the strongest heels we had from the start for consistency. Mystery Mask, ultimate heel with that turn. Rate Wrestle, just a monster. Escobar, La Familia, Shurfdog, and Smooth Rock as well. Like, these guys are just tearing it up as heels. So, yeah. The weird thing is, I'm not up for either. I had a year where I was super uber face and then turned heel and was a monster, ridiculous, evil heel. And I think I won both. Or I came close. I might have split the vote. But I'm not up for either. And again, I'm thrilled by that. That's so awesome. And it just gives me motivation for next year to go for it. So congratulations to all the nominees for that. That's really cool. Turn of the Year is the last kind of category before theme song, and that'll make sense in a second. But Rate Wrestle turned on RGX at TakeOver Vengeance Day. That's where we put him through the window. The first real turn we had, aside from some Rumble fights. That's the main one. Tino turned on Luke at WrestleMania. Kier 1 turned on Ash at Money in the Bank. Smooth Rock turned on Ralentando at SummerSlam. And Infinity turned face at SummerSlam at TakeOver. And that's a two-parter because that's when I shook GMSG's hand at SummerSlam, and then the three of us as a team were faces against Honor Club, and we beat you. You're running roughshod with 2 title belts, but we beat you guys. So yeah, we're still in the mix here. So yeah, that's the turn of the year. And lastly, theme song of the year. We just listed them all. We put all of our theme songs here. Which one's your favorite? Simple as that. So pick the one you like the most, scroll through, and be like, I like this one, I like that one. And also, while you're at it, please make sure to check out these awesome logos that CT did. He did every single one of these. They're all very cool, very thematic. The colors seem to match. The logo text matches the graphic text. And then there's the graphics on top with the gears, the barbed wire, and the spray paint, and the guys coming out of the crown. And the blue for Bound for Glory. It's just, yeah, he did an awesome job on all of these. I think the money, that might be the best one. That looks so sick, how that one worked for Money in the Bank. We had to actually move that one around because of when they did it, but it was all good. But yeah, that is it. So please, guys, after I've gone through all of this, you've heard me talk about all this, go put your votes in. Put your votes in for who you think the Superstar of the Year, the Master of the Mic, RGX, or wait. Because some of you are up for these awards. Go campaign. Go in character chat. Push for votes. Like I said, we've had a few guys already doing that. We could have a promo come out that might be like, you know what? No, that's it. That's the promo of the year. That right there is the one. I'm going for him. Like, go for it. Go ahead. Don't do it right away, but like I said, December 31st. If it's 2022, you're too late. Period. Dot. So please do it before New Year's Eve, just to be safe on it. And go for it. Let's have some fun with it. So, yeah. Congratulations, everybody. It's awesome. And I say thank you again. I did this last time. We'll do it next time. And we're going to do a war room as well. Thank you. But thank you, everybody, for the FPL first calendar year. That anniversary is coming up on January 1st. We are very excited for that. And we can't thank you guys enough for this. It was a bit of a long shot to see what could happen. And it surpassed a lot of things already. It did very quickly. We're very thankful for that, very happy with that. But also, we kind of, I don't want to say we knew. I believed in us, but it still is like, it's a relief to see it, right? Like, you hear so many wrestler stories, BeerMe, about guys like Edge when he came back in the Rumble. And he's like, I wonder if they'll remember me. Like, they get that delusional kind of attitude, right? And they do. And it was kind of that. It's like, are they gonna follow? Or are they gonna come check this thing out with the FPL and give us a shot? Yeah, they did. So. It means a lot. It means so much. But yeah. Anything else you want to say, BeerMe, for this one before we cut it here, or about any of the awards, or any campaign you want to do? Maybe that first ever promo, or anything towards day one, or you want to kind of save that for next week?
No, I'm good. I just want to celebrate. Thank you as well, and hopefully everybody's still having fun. And let's rock into the new year.
Heck yeah. It's going to be great. The Rumble is going to be even better, I think, simply because we're not trying to figure out stories and fit stuff to where it goes. We've got a year's worth of stories now. Oh, my God, it's going to be great. And it's all random. It's all luck of the draw with who gets in and who goes where. And that's some of the most fun I find in writing that. I hope I'm in it. I've been in every Rumble there could be so far. I really hope I'm in it. And I don't get eliminated first. That'd be great. I'd like that. That'd be good. But we'll leave it there. Thank you again, everybody, for checking this out. Frontline League on Twitter. You can follow along down below into our Discord. Sign up. We had someone who signed up last week. It's awesome. Welcome. You're in. Please, everybody, come fill this stuff out. Sign up. Put your votes in. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. And, yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks again. Have a good night.